Hi everyone, this is Poly Level Test Review. Today we will just do a quick review on what's going to be on our level test. So before we start, remember this is just an example, so do not memorize this slide. Make sure to just know the concept of the problems. So I'm just trying to explain what is going to be on the test, not the exact questions. So this is just made by me, so do not try to memorize these words. So first we're gonna do English, which is the reading part. So when you first read the story, you need to know what the author is trying to say in the story. So always remember what the author tries to tell in the current story and what is the idea of the story. So let's read a short story. It's about the lion and the boar. It was a hot summer day. A lion and a boar reached a small water body for a drink. They began arguing and fighting about who should drink first. After a while, they're tired and stop for breath. When they notice vultures above, soon they realize that the vultures are waiting for one or both of them to fall to feast on them. The lion and the boar then decided that it was best to make up and be friends than fight and become food for vultures. They drink the water together and go there always after. Okay, so for this story, we're talking about the lion and the boar. And first, we have to see what is the main idea of the story. So the main idea here is they are trying to reach a small water body for a drink because they're both thirsty. But then here it says small, so not everyone can drink at the same time. So they began arguing and fighting about who should drink first. So this is our first problem of the story. Then after a while, they were tired from all the arguing and the fighting, so they stopped to catch a breath. And then they noticed the vultures above. Soon they realized that the vulture was trying to eat them because they saw them flying around above them. So they decided that it was best to make up and be friends, to drink water fast, and then go their ways after because they don't want to become a food. So you can see that here we have two problems. First, they were fighting and arguing, and then they noticed that the vulture was waiting to eat them. So the solution of the problem is they become a friend and drink the water together and then go back to their house. So this is the whole point of the story, and make sure to read the story at least 3 times to understand the story. So the first time when you read the story, just read as it is. And the second time you read the story, read the questions they are asking first, and then read back the stories so you can know what the questions are asking. And the third time you're reading is to check if the answer is correct. Next, most of the questions are asking what happened in the story, what was the main problem, and how did they solve it? Is there a lesson to this story? What kind of story is this? Why did the author write this story? So these are the main questions that you can see in the level test. So remember to figure out the problem and the solution first, and then what was the whole lesson of this, and then you need to know what kind of story this is. Is this a fiction, nonfiction, informative text, or any other kind of story that they say in the answer? But first you need to know that lion and boar here cannot talk, so it cannot be nonfiction. It needs to be fiction, but it could be, if we say it deeply, then we call it a fable. But I think the level test will just say briefly, like it's nonfiction, fiction, narrative, personal narrative, or so on. So read the question and reread the story to find the answers. And the main things are speech building. Speech building is basically like the vocab words. So where do fish live? Think about fish, and where do they live? They live in ocean. And then what can you not buy at the market? Here you need to see that there is not. So you need to choose something that you cannot buy in the market. So a cake, yes you can. A dog, no, you cannot buy a dog at the market. So this will be the answer. Number 3, which part is considered as land? There are 4 answers here. Whiteboard is not a land. A tree, it's not a land. Desert is the land we're talking about here. So this is the answer. But this desert doesn't mean like eating dessert. Dessert spelling is different. Desert is 1S. Dessert is 2S. And number 4, what can you do with the fork? So something you do with your fork. Fork, we use it to eat lunch. So A should be the answer, but make sure to read all the given choices because sometimes the answer might be different. So to sing a song, play catch, write a story, we don't do any of this with a fork, we just eat lunch with it. Next one, you choose the best word to complete the sentence. So before you put all the words in, make sure to read the sentence first. So wolves, blank, rabbits for food. So think about, what does wolves do rabbits for food? They teach rabbits for food. I don't think wolves teach rabbits for food. Wolves cry rabbits for food. That does not make sense. Wolves hunt rabbits for food. Yes, they will hunt rabbits for food. Wolves play rabbits for food. They cannot play with rabbits for food. And then number 2, I need a blank to watch a movie. So let's see, what do we need to get to watch a movie? A watch? We don't need a watch. Paper? I don't think you need a paper. Ticket? Yes, we need a movie ticket to watch a movie. We don't need a stone. Number 3, we use the bat to blank the baseball. So bat, baseball, what do? Baseball, we hit the baseball with the bat. So hit will be the answer. Some of you can say, oh, swing. You can swing a bat for the baseball. But here, if we put swing, it says we use the bat to swing the baseball. We don't swing the baseball. We swing the bat to hit the baseball. Okay? And then number 4, use the blank to stick the paper together. This should be easy. To stick something, we don't need a broom. Nest? No, that's a bird's house. We need a glue to stick them together. And then next one, identify the word that means the same as the underlined definition. So we're looking for this definition. What does the word that means this sentence right here? So my clothes was very stiff after I put them in the dryer. So first, if you don't know the word stiff, think about the word dryer. If you put something in the dryer, it gets really dried, so it cannot be soft. So this will be out. Easy. Easy is not a word that could go with my clothes easy, so that does not make sense. My clothes thin. The dryer does not make the clothes thin, so this will be not it. So my clothes got hard after I put them in the dryer. So when you put the clothes in the dryer, it could make the clothes a little bit hard. Like when you touch it, you can feel the texture. So stiff means hard. And then number 2, there are many small stands where things are sold at the flea market. Here, if you know the word small stands, you can easily find the answer. So first, corners. Corners are talking about like the direction when you say, oh, turn to that corner of the desk. Or when you're talking about like the pointy stuff, the corner of this TV is very sharp. So this is not an answer for small stands. Carts. Carts are for pushing something after you put something you want to buy. So this is not a small stance. Booth. If you think about booth, think about the like a photo booth. That's small and it is like a store that could be selling something. So let's keep the booth as an answer. But let's check the last one too. Workers. Workers, we're talking about people. But small stands, we're not talking about people here. We're talking about the objects. So workers cannot be the answer. So now, same thing. Number 3, I had friendly conversation with my friend today. Here we say conversation, but some of you might not know what conversation means. Conversation means you're having a talk with your friend. So first, let's see. Invitation. Invitation means to invite someone, which means you are allowing them to come to somewhere, like your birthday party, your house, your dinner. Like you invite someone to the restaurant, you're allowing someone to come with you. So this is not talking about talking to your friend. So this would be not it. Chat is when you're talking to someone. So chat is a conversation. So let's put the check mark here. Cover. Cover means to cover something over. So like covering my eyes, it means to put something over an object. So this does not mean conversation. Image is a picture. Just think about image as a picture. We're not talking about friendly picture here, so this is not the answer. So the only answer could be is chat. And number 4, I need a long, thin, flat piece of wood to make my lemonade stand. Here, you need to read all the words before you can answer the question. Because long, thin, flat, if you look at these 3 words, you're going to check paper. But here is this piece of wood. Paper is made of wood, but it's not a piece of wood. So paper is not it. He has nothing to do with wood. Plant is not a piece of wood. So here we are talking about the board. And then next we are talking about definition of the underlined word. So now you're finding the word's definition. So here I ironed my shirt until it was smooth with no creases or folds. When you hear ironed, some of you might not know what ironed means. So here, think about my shirt. Anything that's talking about a shirt could be the answer here. So first, to give something and get something else in return, we're not talking about the shirt here, so cross that out. To rest against something that has nothing to do with my shirt. To take wrinkles out of clothes with hot flat metal tool. Here we're talking about clothes. Clothes and my shirt are same meaning. So this could be the answer. So let's put the check mark. To take hold of something and not let it escape. We're not talking about holding something or letting it escape. So number C will be the answer. And number 2, the student showed obedience towards the teacher. Here we're talking about obedience, but the word could be a little bit hard if you never heard of this word before. Think about the students and the teacher. What does the students have to do to a teacher? So first, a thought plan or suggestion about what to do. The students don't tell teacher what to do. The teacher will tell students what to do. So this will be all the way around. So this cannot be the answer. Having many small folds, folding something, has nothing to do with students and teacher. The act or power or of carefully thinking about listening to or watching someone or something. Yes, we have to listen to the teacher and we need to watch the teacher as they talk. So this could be the answer. Let's check. A kind of light. Nothing to do with light that we have to know about students and the teachers. So this is not the answer. So C will be the answer here. So number 3, Sarah painted her ceiling with her favorite color so she can see them when she lies on her bed. Here, ceiling and when she lies on her bed. So thinking about yourself on your bed, what is the first thing you see? A picture made with a camera? I don't think you see that when you lie on your bed. To get ready for something that has nothing to do with lying in the bed. The thin material made from, this is trees, that people write or draw on. We don't see something that is made from trees that will be paper. We don't see paper above our bed. So that's not the answer. So the answer would be the part of a room that is over your head. So that is something you can see when you lie on your bed. Number 4, you need to get a permission before you can stand up from your seat. Here, permission, if you don't know the word, think about what you have to get before you can stand up from your seat. You cannot just stand up from your seat in your school or in poly. So first, let's see, the act of allowing someone to do something. Yes, the act of, if the teacher allows you to stand up, then you can stand up from your seat. So let's check this as an answer first. Let's see the other answers. Information that is sent or given to someone. We're not talking about giving information to anyone, so this is not the answer. A gathering where important things are talked about or decided. We're not gathering something important. So that's not the answer. To make it easier for someone to do a job or deal with a problem, standing up from your chair or your seat is not a problem, so this is not the answer. So the only answer will be allowing someone to do something. Next, we have a synonym. First, think about synonym. Synonym is a word that is similar to the current word that is given. So number one, it says the author of the book wants to become famous. So we always talk about the author, right? Author is the writer of the book. So we call the writer of the book author in total. And then number two, my coach told me Jason will be the new captain in our team. Here you might know the captain word, you might not know the captain. So think about my coach telling me that someone is going to be our new someone in our team. Office is not someone, so this is not it. Reason is not someone, so this is not it. Common is not someone, so this is not it. Leader could be someone, so this is the answer of the question 2. Next one, number 3. Mary rarely studies for her test, so she always gets best score. Here we're talking about antonym. Everyone, every time you see the question in bolded line, you need to read because this can change. So here we're not talking about same words, we're talking about different meaning words. So number 3 says she doesn't study for her test. That's why she gets the best scores. If you don't know rarely, think about how do you get best scores? You don't study for the test. So clearly means when you're clear of something. So that has nothing to do with studying hard or not. Often, if you study often, means you study a lot. That means you can get a good score. So this is the opposite of rarely. So let's check that. But let's check the other words too. Almost. Almost is Mary almost studies for her test. That does not make sense either way. Suddenly, if you suddenly study for your test, you're not gonna get a good score. You might get a bad score. So this is not it. Number 4, my glasses were missing, so the view looked blurry. Here you need to think about having a glasses. So having glasses and they went missing. So if you don't have your glasses on and you have bad eyesight, then you can't see things very well. So we call that blurry. So it means you cannot see things clearly. So clear here will be the answer because this is the opposite word of being clear. Foggy is the same meaning as blurry. When there's fog everywhere, you cannot see things very well. Unpleasant means you don't feel very good, which has nothing to do with having to not look very clearly. Good has nothing to do with seeing things. So clear it will be the answer. Next, we're identifying the sentence type. There are different types of sentences. First will be command. Command is when you're telling someone to do something. Like when you tell someone, go clean your room, wash your hands, put the books back in the shelf. Here we don't start with subjects, we just start with the action verb. When you're telling someone to do something right away, or you're not giving them any choices, you're telling them to do this right now. Question, It always starts with what, when, who, where, how, did, do, does, and is or are, or was or were. Any other word that begins, if there isn't any word that begins with these, it wouldn't be a question unless you're talking to someone and you're not sure of something and you say, I think it is, but they'll have a quotation mark because you're talking to someone. So, for example, question will be, what is the name of the book? How did you get so tall? Did you play with your dog today? Are there any bread left? So, first word that begins here are the ones that are used as question. And the statement is just a simple sentence we always write. There's who, there's a verb, there's what, there's when. So all of them together. Example, we went to the movies yesterday. I did my homework already. My mom was washing the dishes. So this is just you writing your sentences. Exclamation is just having exclamation point at the end of the sentence. So when you're very excited or when you're yelling at someone, you will have an exclamation point at the end. Like saying, that was great. I like the movie so much. Or let's go play together. So exclamation is always having exclamation point at the end of the sentence. And then going back to English foundation, we are completing the sentence, choosing the correct word. Number 1, it says, my school is blank the street from my house. First, let's put all the words together. My school is across the street from my house. That makes sense, so let's check. My school is below the street from my house. This means my school is under the street. That does not make sense. My school is until the street from my house. That is not smooth sentence. My school is to the street from my house. That sentence does not make sense, so that does not work. Number 2, this pencil is blank, so please give it back to me. Here, we're talking about me. So her, his is not me. So there's 2 choices, my and mine. But everyone, let's always know that my does not come before comma. We can say my pencil or my parents, my friend, but we never end the sentence with my. So mine is the only thing that will work here. So check mine. Now, number 3. I blank to watch the baseball game today. So first, let's think about, is it past tense or present tense? Here we're talking about today, so we're talking about present tense. So first you have to take out the words that are past tense. Had, was is past tense. So we have 2 choices, is and have. Do we say I is to watch? No, that does not sound good. We say I have to watch the baseball game today. So that's the answer of the question. Number 4, I have to go to blank house before I go to school. So we're talking about someone's house here. First, Noah's house. This makes sense. Let's check. I have to go to his house before I go to school. When you hear the sound, it sounds correct, but this is not the way you write the his if you are going to make this correct. This is saying he is. So if you put it, I have to go to he is house. That does not make sense, so take it out. I have to go to the boy house before I go to school. If we're going to say something that owns the house, we always have to put the apostrophe S So this one does not have that, so cross out that. I have to go to his house before I go to school. That just sounds wrong. If you say I have to go to her house, it makes sense. This one will be out, so the answer will be Noah's. Next, we are choosing the correct past tense, not present tense, past. So remember, the past tense will always have ed or d at the end of the sentence. So here are the examples. So verb plus ed is when we don't have e on the back of the sentence. Like watch, talk, or want, we don't have e on the back, so we have to put e and then d. But if we have a verb that has e at the end, we just have to put the d. We don't say eed. That's not a word. And then we have a verb with y. So y always have to change into I. So like cry, try, study, they all end in y. So we have to change that into ied. And then we have the short vowel and the long vowel. Remember, short vowel, long vowel sounds are a, e, I, o, u. So anything that has the ending sound, like these, not the end sound here. We're talking about the one that's before the last alphabet. So a is here. A is here, so we have to put double letters at the end. But this is only for the vowel. If you don't have a vowel like cry, this is R sound, so it's not a vowel. Here we end up with V. V is not a vowel, so it wouldn't be it. Here N, L, C, there are not vowel sounds, so that's why it's different from this word. And then we have the irregular verbs. Please do not go and guessing the irregular verbs, because irregular verbs, there's a lot of irregular verbs, so you have to constantly see them. So put, cut, hit, read. We don't change these words. They're the same as it is. Read, we just sound it out as read, but they are the same spelling. And then there's other verbs that change into different words, like do to did, go to went, it to ate, have to had. So this is not putting ed on the end. It's just changing the whole word. So you have to know the irregular verbs or you can get this confused. And then we have the plural forms, which is more than many, more than one. So it means many things. So we have to put s or es on the back of the noun, not a verb, on back of the noun. So there are irregular form here. Men is just men with the e, person to people, tooth to teeth, mouse to mice, foot to feet. We don't put s on the back of these words. Okay? It just changes to a different word. And then the noun that does not change are these kinds. Sheep, deer, fish, species. We don't put s on here. We just leave it as it is. So noun plus s will be like pencils, cups, pies, cookies. Now with es is like we say cloth, but if we say clothes, it means a lot of clothes. Mango, we put es on the back. Foxes, boxes, we just put es on the back. And then we have f sound. Half, leaf, thief. We have to put V-E-S because we cannot say halves, leaves. That'll be hard to say. That's why we change into the V sound. Halves, leaves, thieves. And then noun ending with Y, same thing with the past tense verb, we have to change Y to I. So fly is I-E-S, strawberries, I-E-S. So just remember these and to try to use this in the test as many times as you can. Okay, so we're going to go over the sentence that is written correctly. So you're trying to find the sentence that is correctly written. So first, let's see. We will go to the beach today, comma, and tomorrow. Usually we don't use comma when we are just talking about two things. If we say today, tomorrow, and the next day, then we will put comma in between. But if it's just two things and then we put and in between, we don't need comma. So this is the wrong sentence. I'm going to not enjoy this cake. Not does not come before going to. Not always comes after am. Okay, after the be verb. So I am not going to enjoy this cake is correct. So this is not correct sentence. I forgotted to eat my bread last class. Forgotted is not a word. Either you say forgot or forget. We don't put ed on the back. So this is incorrect. I practiced so hard for my baseball game. This will be the correct sentence. Next one, same thing, written correctly. Mrs. Cassie bought some toy for her children. It sounds correct, but here it says some. So toy is it's not one toy. We have to put S on it. So this is the incorrect sentence. There is a giant mosquito on my toe. We're using the correct beaver. We're using the correct noun. So I think this is correct. Let's circle first and let's keep reading. What is wrong with this problem? What is the wrong with this problem? Here, we don't put the here. We say what is wrong with this problem. So this is wrong. Can I get some of candy? Here, we have to say, can I get some candies? No Y. So this is incorrect. So this will be the correct answer. Now, here it says incorrectly. You need to find this word before you answer the question. So we are trying to find something that is incorrectly written. So first, David's not going to be at the party tomorrow. This sounds correct. Let's circle. On July, we are going on a vacation. Okay, this sounds good. I didn't know there was going to be a test today. It sounds correct, but here, didn't. We don't write didn't as it is. We have to put the apostrophe after N. So this is incorrectly written, so this will be the answer. Let's check the other sentence. Emily doesn't know what is going on. Doesn't is written correctly. All the words look correctly in, so this is correct answer. So incorrect sentence will be number 3. Next one, same thing, written incorrectly. Where are my shoes? We have to put S on the back because we're talking about multiple things. So this is incorrectly written. So let's check this first. Let's read other questions too. What happened to the soup? This sounds correct. Are you having fun? Correct sentence. Here comes the airplane. This sounds correct too. So the incorrect sentence will be number 1. Alright, everyone, this is the end of the lesson. I hope you guys can study off of this video and make sure when you take the level test, please read the questions 3 times at least, and make sure to go back and check your answer 2-3 times, because sometimes you can mark the wrong answers but you never realize it. So just remember, you can take as long as you want with the test, but make sure you answer it correctly. This is not a monthly test, this is a level test, so it is important for you to study for. So if you have any other questions, please come see me on Monday or Tuesday before we start the test and ask me a question and I can answer it for you. Other than that, this is the end of the video. Thanks for listening. Bye.